Namaste, Jai Bharat. We in Bharat use the word Sanskriti, which is roughly translated in English as culture. Though I am very conscious that Sanskriti is much wider, both in connotation as well as denotation, than the concept of culture, which I made several times clear. How Sanskrit is much wider than a concept of culture. But in our Sanskriti, and in many Sanskritis in the world, or cultures in the world, civilizations in the world, an individual must have certain qualities. And one such quality is honesty, integrity, straightforwardness, transparency, etc., etc., etc. These are certain qualities which at times people call as values, which constitute a personality of an individual. Now, my question simply to anyone who hears this is that is it confined to individual existence, or is it also applicable to societies? These concepts are must also be applicable to societies, and I'm sure at once people would say it must be applicable to societies. And once you agree that it must be applicable to societies, then the society should be treated as one unit. Then only these concepts of qualities be applied to society. How to understand, uh, how to make this happen, how to treat society as a single unit to possess these qualities, or one must one must at once say that that's not applicable to a gathering or a society. It must only be applicable to individuals. That will be a that will be very appalling situation. Now here, uh, there's a great mind in Bharat. I would take, I would bring his theory. You know him; those who know that would know him. And I was fortunate to work in a university where he was teaching for 15 years. And that's none other than Sri Aurobindo, Aurobindo Ghosh, or subsequently Maharshi Aurobindo. Maharshi Aurobindo has a concept of nation soul. Nation soul. He would he speaks about that the nation has a soul. And the moment you go in the Arabindian perspective of nationalism, or even nationality, all your problems get immediately solved. The nation should have these qualities because nation has a soul. Nation has a soul. How nation soul is similar or different from individual souls is very clearly spelled out by Sri Aurobindo. That's for you to read that book. Many things he wrote of known nationalism. So nation soul, when the moment you accept that nation as a soul, which people of Bharat have no problem in accepting that we have a nation soul. It's easy for people of Bharat or in Bharatiya Sanskriti to understand, accept easy for us that nation has a soul. Nation is a nation soul. The moment you say that, then a nation should have these qualities, this honesty, integrity, transparency, loyalty, etc., etc., etc. This is what ought to constitute a nation. That nation soul must have these given attributes. Otherwise, the nation becomes soulless. Something akin to what Marx would speak of, so sigh of oppressed creature, soul of soulless conditions. Otherwise, nation becomes that. And now, if you look at nations, start from Pakistan to America, they have no transparency, they have no honesty, they don't even have integrity, and I doubt their loyalty to themselves. Loyalty to oneself becomes a prerequisite to loyalty to others. Disloyal to oneself, how can you expect him to be loyal to others? Not loyal to others, you can't even expect vice versa, that how can he be loyal to himself? So this concept is exclusively that belong that is from Bharat, that one of Bharat. This is exclusive in with this nation. We have a nation soul, and we maintain these kind of properties in our nation soul, and the individual contribute to this nation in this given matter. By and large. Now, when I say something, I'm not making universal statements. We don't even attempt to universalize like some philosophers in Europe you do. Kant, for instance, his moral principles he tries to universalize to make it a moral principle. His duty for sake of duty, he universalizes to make it categorical and imperative. Then comes Kantian categorical imperative theory. That gets besides the point. But these nations from Pakistan to America, which includes all others, who are not transparent, who go about doing hidden agenda, who are not loyal to themselves, can't expect any relations with such people. We can only have functional relations based on advantage and advantages that is akin to a bad trader ethics. I call it as bad trader ethics. A bad trader looks for his advantage alone. That's not good trading. And that trading is not dharma in a Hindu's perspective. Such trading is adharma. He is only bothered of his own interest. That's a bad trade. A good trader makes his own benefits plus sees that the other man is also comfortable and getting benefited. That's good trading. So these nations who are in the limelight, making big noise about themselves, being boisterous about themselves for something great, something special, are bad traders. They're bad traders. They don't have nation soul. So when Bharat has a nation soul, at least you can't understand it because you don't have the categories of understanding to understand a concept of nation soul of a nation. If Greek thinkers were alive today, the Greek thinkers of that time, Pythagoras or Aristotle, they were statesmen. If they were alive today, they would have understood it just like that. They would have understood it at once. But since they had the categories to understand such noble things, the present world, I don't think many people have this kind of ability to understand this. Comprehension is impossible. How do you then think of being into that? Or from being your ex to becoming into that? This has to happen spontaneously. Diamond has to be matured through time and pressure. A carbon matures in time and pressure to turn into diamond. That's what one should happen. I'm sure nobody will understand it. None of this world, none of these nations will understand it. But please rest assured, if you understand it, good for you. If you don't understand, you're going to still suffer through time till you understand this thing. So this is a question of nation soul, which Maharishi Aurobindo had spelled out so wonderfully, so beautifully, in excellent English. He was European educated, and his English is stronger than Sanskrit. I made this statement, but that doesn't mean that the Sanskrit is weak. His Sanskrit perhaps must be stronger than his English, naturally, or is it Bengali? We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.